Here are my top 7 of the very best dribblers in Premier League history. Now, apart from the fact that this list is based on my personal opinion, this list is also based on players that completed the most dribbles while they were in the Premier League. So here are my top 7 of the very best dribblers in Premier League history. Number 7 on the list, Gianfranco Zola, an absolute Chelsea legend. He was generally regarded for his dribbling abilities, his ability to take on multiple players at the same time. Scored so many solo goals for Chelsea. An absolute legend. So number 7 on the list, Gianfranco Zola. The number 6 on the list is Steve McManaman, an absolute Liverpool legend. He did so many great things. I didn't get to watch him play, but from the highlights that I watched, he was an absolute baller. He was a beast on the ball. He could take on multiple players at the same time. Scored so many solo goals for Liverpool Football Club. An absolute legend. So number 6 on the list for me, Steve McManaman. Number 5 on the list is Austin JJ Okocha, an absolute baller. He was so good in naming twice. This is a player who would have gone up in this very list, but he didn't spend too much time in the Premier League. So number 5 on the list for me is Austin JJ Okocha. And then number 4 on the list is Ryan Giggs. This is the player with the most Premier League title wins in history, of course, but this list is not based on title wins or trophies, but Ryan Giggs was an absolute baller. A winger who was left-footed. He was so good on the ball. He could take on multiple defenders at the same time. He could swing in crosses. He could beat players with his speed and agility. Ryan Giggs, number 4 on the list for me. And then number 3 on the list is Thierry Henry. Of course, unarguably the greatest player in Premier League history. Of course, an absolute baller. With the ball at his feet, he did so many great things. His ability to dribble multiple players at the same time. Scored so many solo goals for Arsenal Football Club. An absolute legend. Of course, Thierry Henry, number 3 on the list for me. And then number 2 on the list, of course, is the GOAT, the Cristiano Ronaldo. With the ball at his feet, he did so many great things. His ability to take on players, at will and at any time, he was so good on the ball. An absolute monster. With his time in the Premier League, he was an absolute beast. Cristiano Ronaldo, number 2 on the list for me. And then number 1 on the list is Eden Michael Hazard. Of course, he was generally regarded for his dribbling abilities. He scored so many solo goals. He was absolutely mesmerizing to watch. Absolute joy to watch. Eden Hazard, number 1 on the list for me. Do hit the subscribe button if you love these very compilations.